Okay, so today we're going to make a note sequencer, kind of like the pattern sequencer you'd see in a Thor synth, something that has dials to program notes for each step. And you can see the note names, decide if a step is a note or a rest. You can decide the length of the sequence, how many steps, and you can save and recall pattern data, rhythmic note values, and the notes, everything about the pattern. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our basic idea for a repeating note patch. And so I'm going to go up here and have a metro, and I'm going to use musical time. So I'm going to go give it a 16th note entry and say that it's active whenever the transport's on. I'm going to then need to have a transport. And a toggle to start and stop the transport. I don't really need to know where I am musically speaking just to demonstrate this patch. But so I'll have the metro. It's going to output bangs. It will go to a number box. It can go to make note with velocity, and it can also have the duration of a 16th note. And that goes to note out. Hook up the pitch output and the velocity. And just going to straighten those up. And now lock the patch so you can hear it. Okay. So that's the basics of a repeating note. Okay, but it's our starting point. So I'm going to take some things apart now. Unlock again. Let's break this, and let's take the make note down here for now. Get there. And we can disconnect the metro as well, because what we're going to do now is just create one step. So the idea is we can, I want to do 8 steps, but I'm going to make one step, get it right, then copy that step is a way of developing. So I've talked about needing a dial for doing this. So I'm going to create a dial object. Dial is going to be big enough that I can actually get some resolution and hook it up. The other thing I want to show you, if you hold down, so if I draw this, it tends to jump in big intervals. But if I hold down the shift key and drag on it, I can have it go down value by value. Okay, that's kind of an undocumented feature. Not kind of, it is an undocumented feature. Anyway, so I have the dial, and I have the number. Now, next thing I'm going to do is insert something in here, because I want to set my steps of my sequence, but I don't want to output them while I'm setting them, only when I'm playing them. And so that's going to use a message. And we've done this before, set $1. So take the output into set $1, and then that goes into the number. And now when I move this, the number still updates, but nothing comes out. Okay, so that's me set. Now one more thing about it. I'm going to go, we can connect this number box, can go to make note. We'll move back up there. Okay. And if I hook up the metronome now, turn on the transport, it always stays within the 16th notes because I'm using the set message. Stop the transport. Okay, so now I want to do some things. I want to see note values. I'm looking at this thing, and I want to see note values instead of numbers, MIDI note names. So I'm going to open the inspector, and very first thing, it has display choices. So take the MIDI C4, that's what we use for the most point. And now you see that if I move the dial, the number's being converted to a note name. I can make another number. Let's come over here, make another number, and you can see that if I do this, it's still, oh, because it's setting. I got a bang. There we go. That what's still being output of the number box is a number, is an integer. It's just displaying differently for me here. So unlock the patch, delete this. I can do a few more things. I could actually change the font and the color. Let's make it a little bit bigger just so we can see it. I can also change its minimum and maximum values to the MIDI range, 0 to 127. It's down at the bottom. And if I really want to be, these are just going to keep me from making mistakes. I can't drag on the number and drag it outside of a MIDI range. Or I can also go to ignore click over here in the attributes. And now, if I like the patch, I cannot drag and click and type in this box because I want to change it with the dial. So you decide whether you want that functionality. I'm going to leave it off for right now. It's playing. It sends out. So now bangs to the number object, go to note, and I've got a step. I really do. I've got a step. I'm missing some things. What am I missing? Okay. I don't have something to decide if this will be a step or not. So let me break this connection. And what I need is a gate. Send the number box to the right inlet of the gate. And I need a toggle to open the gate. Output of the gate. This is going to predict that since I'm going to have 8 of these steps and I'll have a lot of patch chords, I'm going to try and clean things up. So I'm going to have a send object that is my step note. All right. And so down here I need to receive step note. And so now this can kind of be out of the way. Turn on my transport, nothing's happening until I let the note come through with a toggle. So that tells me whether there's steps on or off. All right, so now I'm going to break that for a second. And I'm going to think about how to kind of clean up this visual. Thinking of my interface just a little bit. And we'll talk more about interface design in another video. But I know I need to bang into this note, or number box. I want the toggle to kind of be up here above the dial. I'm going to make it bigger so for turning the step on and off. Now I could make this patch chord, select it, and if you go into Object or Arrange, you can align, no, auto align. Let's select it. That's not very good. Let's grab my let's make a segmented patch chord that comes down to my gate. And like I said, I'm going to show you other ways to make this better. Let's predict one other thing that I need. Rather than patching from the metro to each one of these things or to the object that's going to do my counting, let's receive a bang. No, let's not. Let's patch it. Okay. But so this is my step. I have a way of turning on the step, setting the pitch, showing the pitch, and that gets sent out. Okay. So I've done now one step. I'm going to copy. So I just selected the stuff I wanted to copy. I'm going to hold down Option and click and drag. Let's see, I'm going to fix one thing. I don't like this alignment. Get the toggle a little bit closer. So now select it all. Option, click and drag, and I make another step. Right? Let go. That's still selected. Option, click and drag. Now I've got 3 steps. Option, click and drag, that's 4. And I can select them all. Option, click and drag. And notice I am using my alignment tools, but I create 4 more steps. I've got 8. Okay, as long as I set one of them up correctly, I've got 8 things. Okay. Now, if I'm going to do this has been about a 10-minute video, so I'm going to make a second part to this. I'm going to stop now. I'm going to save my patch because I haven't done anything to save it, and I'm going to call it NoteSequencer Part 1, VD for video demo, and stop this video.